Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever watching this channel. I would like to start this session by appreciating you so much for making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. There is talk of a shift of game plan in Raila's camp. Raila is planning to take a backseat as Azimio plots a new tactic to tackle William RUTO. We saw this kind of arrangement in 2017, soon after NASA refused to participate in a repeat election, where there was also talk of succession. This time round, talks of succession have taken center stage. This is very risky for Azimio. If I look at almost the 8 people I term as Raila's pillars, political pillars, I don't see anyone who is ready to take on William Samoei Ruto, except for someone like Wajackoyah, who is vibrant, and people like Kalonzo Musyoka, despite the fact that he has stood with Raila Amolo Odinga, but the truth of the matter is that Kalonzo Musyoka might not be able to take on William RUTO. The next person I think is most probably able to take on William RUTO is Martha Karua. But again, if I look at Martha Karua, the following, I realize that she is not ready for that. She is still fit to be under Raila Amolo Odinga's political umbrella, just like Kalonzo Musyoka, just like Wajackoyah, just like the former governor of Kakamega County. Eugene Wamalwa cannot take on William RUTO now, because we remember the history of William RUTO and Eugene Wamalwa during campaigns and what led to the exchange of words. The reason why this speculation is coming at the time when Raila Amolo Odinga is needed to actually champion this mandamano is because the faction of the Kenya Kwanza have trivialized the issue of high cost of living, because every time that narrative is brought on the center stage, they always link it to Raila Amolo Odinga's quest for power. Despite the fact that we know that Raila Amolo Odinga has been winning these elections, but wanamuibia. So, as a result, Azimio bigwigs have plotted a mega shift in political game plan, and experts say that the move will see Raila take a backseat as a new man emerge to take on the Kenya Kwanza regime as a chief opposition leader. So this brings us to this question as who will be fronted to assume that role. And we know that in 2027, Raila Amolo Odinga will be 82 years old. But do you think he will not be able to run again? I mean, that's a question, ladies and gentlemen, that I pose to you. You can tell us below the comment section. So, the Azimio team, including Wiper leader Musyoka, Murang'a former governor, that is Wairia, Martha Karua, Wajackoyah, Eugene Wamalwa, Jeremiah Kioni, naming a few, they are the possible people to succeed Raila Amolo Odinga in assuming the chief opposition leader. Of course, we know that Raila is the current one, the one that leads that formation, but those close to 8 members are the ones who are going to assume, who are supposed to assume that role should that narrative be pushed. But the question is, are they ready to take on William Samoei Ruto? Do they have the political muscle to do that? All these things are coming at a prime time, where the opposition is planning to keep the Kenya Kwanza administration on toes ahead of the much hyped Sabasaba anti-government rallies in Nairobi. If I address the issue of Kalonzo Musyoka in this context of the succession matrix, Kalonzo Musyoka said sometimes that when he was in I think the Taita Taveta County. He said that amepata tear gas nyingi and that there was no way he was going to take another tear gas. That only symbolizes that this is someone who can be fronted but give in or give up along the way. For someone to assume the role of Raila Amolo Odinga effectively or efficiently, that person must fully wear the shoe of Raila Amolo Odinga. And in that arrangement, the only person I think can do that without fear is Wajackoyah. I don't know, but that's my take. I don't know what you think about that, but I think that the only person is Wajackoyah. The second person in this arithmetic is Martha Karua. But the only problem is Martha Karua ready to pull a huge or a mammoth crowd? That is what brings the concept of Martha Karua. That is the reason why Martha Karua in this context anakaa tricky kidogo. But let us look at Wajackoyah and the political history. I think Wajackoyah fits the bill here because Wajackoyah can easily inherit the political basket of Raila Amolo Odinga because Wajackoyah comes from the Western, and the mere fact that he could pull a mammoth crowd during campaigns put him at a very, very good position or strategic position to take William Samoei Ruto head on. The only person that William Samoei Ruto fears in this formation is not even Kalonzo, but Wajackoyah, because Wajackoyah resonates well with the hustlers. Right now, William Samoei Ruto cannot convince hustlers because he tried to convince them to vote for him in the last election, but in 2027, it is not going to be easy for him to convince the hustlers again. But it will be pretty easy for Wajackoyah to convince hustlers that, look here, I am the true hustler. Because during campaign, he was the only person who was trying to give William Ruto a run for his money as far as the hustlers narrative is concerned, because he positioned himself as a roots person who resonates well with even the people who are regarded as bank smokers. And they form a huge number of hustlers. The baskets of the number of hustlers, if you look at the people who are considered as the Rastafarians, the people who are bank smokers, they form the huge chunk of hustlers. People who are, under the category of drunks, like the ones that Rigathi Gachagua as accused. Rigathi Gachagua has accused so many people within the Mount Kenya as to have been drunkards who don't have votes. They don't have IDs. He said that when he made a tour of, I think it was Embu County or Tharaka Nithi there. He made those narratives. So that was enough to tell hustlers that, look here, the faction that resonates well with you is a faction that Wajackoyah is in, and that is Azimio. So it is very easy for Azimio for Wajackoyah to carve his political narrative around or along hustlers, courtesy of the fact that he still talks about roots people. So, ladies and gentlemen, the newspaper today talked about succession politics, the game plan, what Azimio One Kenya Alliance have resorted to doing. So it's all about Raila succession. And what Azimio have tried to do is to put Raila Amolo Odinga kando kidogo and then front someone else who will take William Ruto head on, because the idea is very simple, that they should not trivialize the narrative of high cost of living, because every time Raila Amolo Odinga mentioned this high cost of living, huwa anasema kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga anataka nusu mkate. But that's not the issue here. The issue here is very simple. The high cost of living must be dealt with, and that is what this Kenya Kwanza regime promised when they were campaigning. So Raila and the team are merely trying to say that give Kenyans a break as far as the high taxes are concerned, and the courts have said it also. So Dear ladies and gentlemen, the new game plan by Azimio and Kenya Alliance is one thing that Azimio and Kenya Alliance should tread carefully on, because if they decide to give Kalonzo Musyoka, they should also ask themselves whether that will have a positive impact in that force. If they decide to give Martha Karua, they should also try to look at that aspect, whether it will yield any results. If they decide to give Wajackoyah, they should look at the hustlers narrative, whether it will resonate well with us, with Wajackoyah. Because right now they should think about the hustlers narrative, how best they can take advantage of that hustlers narrative. Because right now that narrative will not be used by the Kenya Kwanza regime, because they have already failed the hustlers. So going forward, they will not use that narrative successfully. But if you look at Raila Amolo Odinga's faction, they are the people who are defending the common mwananchi, and the common mwananchi are the people who form the hustlers. So the hustlers, majority of them are in the Mount Kenya. So Wajackoyah is the only person who can resonate well, or the only person who these hustlers can resonate well with, Wajackoyah. Of course, Martha Karua can also succeed there, but Wajackoyah fit the bill. You have the right to tell me below the comment section whether you think, out of Raila Amolo Odinga's political pillars, who do you think is best fit to assume that role? Dear ladies and gentlemen, can you tell us below the comment section there whether you think Wajackoyah fits the bill, Martha Karua fits the bill, Kalonzo fits the bill, Eugene Wamalwa fits the bill, Mwangi wa Iria fits the bill? Just tell us below the comment section there. And also like to urge you to stay safe and stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.